Well, hey there, folks. I'm meteorologist Matt Barentine. Here's a 3D look at the tropics. First off, we have Gamma, and then we have now Tropical Depression number 26 down in the Caribbean. So we've gone into extra innings here this year, as we well know. In fact, I'm going to have to put a circle very soon next to Delta. So Gamma's on the board. Delta will be on the board very soon. Still a tropical depression at this point, but sometime tomorrow it will become Tropical Storm Delta. First off, Gamma winds at 60 miles per hour. Not a well-organized storm at all, moving to the east at only 2 miles an hour. Eventually, it's going to start working its way off to the west, down towards Cozumel, then eventually fall apart. So we are not going to be dealing with Gamma. Gamma is just something we'll watch, but not something we'll have to deal with. 26, though, on the other hand, is a different story. Just became an actual tropical depression. You'll see the L get the circle around it. That stands for the tropical depression. Winds at 35 miles an hour, moving to the west-northwest at 9 miles per hour. Here's the official forecast track for the National Hurricane Center, taking it here across the western tip of Cuba, growing it into a hurricane, and then likely growing into a more powerful hurricane, maybe with winds as high as 100 miles per hour. That's Sally strength. There isn't any good news here is that once it gets into the northern Gulf, it's going to run into some issues. It's going to run into some upper level winds that are fairly strong. It's going to run into colder water. It's cool outside last few days, and that makes the water here just offshore a bit cooler in the 70s. It's also going to run into some drier air. So all those things put together, it's going to have some issues as it moves to the north. So fingers crossed that it will be losing some strength, unlike Sally, which gained strength as it got closer to us. So winds of 85 miles an hour, but you can see how wide the cone is. It goes all the way from Panama City all the way back to Lake Charles, Louisiana. So it's a pretty broad area, but unfortunately we are in the right-hand side of that entire area. Let's go ahead and look at one of the models here. I showed you the European model just a few minutes ago. This is the American model. Monday at noon, there it is. I'm going to stop it at noon each day. Tuesday at noon, just south of Cuba, then passing over Cuba into the Gulf of Mexico. On Wednesday, here's the remnants of Gamma, so it's sort of, they're interacting at that point. They're both right there next to each other. Wednesday at noon in the middle of the Gulf. Here we are Thursday, and the difference here really with the American model is not so much where it's going, it's the strength. This one has a stronger system. You can see a well-developed system here, south of Louisiana Thursday at lunchtime, and then bringing this in sometime during the day on Wednesday at lunchtime, once again, Louisiana, just like the European model just showed Louisiana as well. Does that mean that it's going to make landfall in Louisiana? Write it down, mark it down. No, these models will change. I'll give you that. So we need to keep a very close eye on this. Things will shift around. It'll move around. This is not the final word on this, but just be aware that, hey, it's a real possibility. We'd be on the right-hand side of that. That would give us some issues for sure. Here's the models, by the way, with all the spaghetti plot, as we call it. And you can see they're pretty well centered for the moment on southeast Louisiana. But once again, we'd be on the right-hand side of that. Right-hand side of a tropical system is where the worst of the weather is at.